Okay. So let's go ahead and grab our mat and a strap, anything that you can use. And get situated. So we had the request to work on ankles today, and we'll work full body as well. But starting with ankles, we want to work on strengthening and aligning the ankles. So we're going to grab our strap. And this is actually going to work full body and core, but it's also amazing for the ankles. And it's also going to really work on our balance. So if you don't have a strap, you can simply grab onto the outer edges of your feet. But for this, we want to align the full spine and the pelvis. So you're actually going to move the muscle, the tissue, and try and get on the inside edge of your sit bones and the front edge of your sit bones, which is actually going to make it harder to balance. And then we're just going to bring our feet up. So it's like a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to lengthen through the spine. So rather than collapsing or rounding in the spine, see if you can create more space throughout each vertebra. And in doing so, we're going to reach out, extend through the top of the head. And you can look at your two big toes. So see if you can get the two big toenails aligned. Try and get the two big toes touching. And then spread wide across the bottom of the feet. And see if you can engage all 10 toes, spreading all 10 toes wide. And now we want to go back to the foundation again. Just notice, do you have more weight on one sit bone or the other? Is most of the weight rolling back towards the sacrum, towards the back of the pelvis? It's actually extremely challenging to get onto the front sit bones on the front of the pelvis. And you'll notice the legs firing, the core engaging. And yeah, perfect. And so we're gonna strengthen the ankles through the action of the feet. So toes spreading wide, press through the mounds of the big toes. And that's also gonna build the tendons, the arches. And then reach through your inner heel like you're extending through your inner heels. And you'll probably start to feel the legs firing. And again, see if you can take more length throughout the spine. Lengthen the spine, grow the spine longer, taller. It's hard, right? And alternatively, you can work on one foot at a time. If balance is hard, so you can put one foot down, one foot up. Hold that for a while and then do the other. Yeah, good. So that's a great alternative, just working one foot at a time. And you'll just want to work it equally. And you want to work it, I'll do one foot with you. You want to work it so that the muscles are firing. You will have that aching, that burning, that grueling, just no sharp pain. And doing it one-legged actually really helps you get more on those front sit bones, which is what we're seeking, which is what we're looking for. So it's actually really good training. And then the arms might start firing too. See if you can get an external rotation of your arms, especially the upper arm, and roll the top shoulder down the back. And then lift the heart, the front sternum upwards and forwards at a 60-degree angle. So you're really fighting to get that heart open, that chest open. Smooth breathing. And then rather than pushing the organs out, soften the belly, relax the navel to the spine. Last week we really worked on entwining. So imagine that the crests of your pelvis, that front of your pelvis, those kind of like moon crests, that they're relaxing towards the center of the belly. So the outside edges of your hips are rolling towards, inwards, towards the center of the pelvis. And then the center of the pelvis is reaching back towards the back of the pelvis, towards the sacrum, spreading wide across the back of the pelvis, across the sacrum, outer edges of the hips, again, rolling in towards the center of the pelvis. Okay, now we're going to switch legs. One leg up, one leg down, and again, rolling on the front edges of the sit bones. Spread those toes wide. This is actually very toning throughout the whole body, especially the spine. And to really work on the strength of the ankles, the alignment of the ankles, the knees, the hips. Keep spreading wide across the toes. Press through the mounds of the big toes. Press through your inner heel. Smooth breathing. And again, roll those shoulders down the back. And it's such a balancing act. The more you bend that knee, the more that you can roll on those front sit bones. The more you can lengthen through the spine, getting that spine longer, taller. And just trying to get on those front sit bones is so much work. You're retraining the body, tapping into new intelligence in the body. Smooth breathing. Exhale. Other leg again. See if you can get a little bit more forward this time on the sit bones. Yep. And even if it's just a micro millimeter more, it's going to change the whole pose. Good. And then again, we're opening up behind the heart, and the arms can actually be straight, and that way you're not having to muscle through it. The arms can be straight. Yeah, beautiful. Smooth, deep breaths, and the body might be shaking, it might be percolating. We're just toning the nervous system. And then switch sides again. Second side, second time. And again, we really have to work for it to roll on those front sit bones. Arms are straight, beautiful. Spine is lengthening, opening behind the heart. And see if you can just take a little bit more length, which will strengthen the spine. Reach out the top of the head, extend the back of the neck. And then the foot that's on the ground, press that foot firmly, widen both of the feet. And exhale, come down. Ooh, that's like a lot of work. Okay. Okay, we're all gonna feel that a little bit different place depending on where we personally need to work or where we personally need to strengthen. Okay, and now we're gonna, if you have a bolster or a pillow or a prop or a few blankets, we just wanna get that extra height, that extra thickness underneath. And the trick here is you can actually use as many pillows, blankets, add as much height as you need. You can even do it like on the edge of a couch or a chair. But we're going to put the bottoms of our feet together. So it's Baddha. Perfect. And the goal here is that we want to raise our butt enough off the floor that our knees drop below our pelvis. So again, we have those two pelvic crests, the front of the hip bones, front of the pelvic bones. And we want the knees to drop below those two bones. And so if the knees are higher, then that just simply means we need more height under our butt. Perfect. Yep, grab more height if you need. Yeah, there was a time, let's see, especially like in my track days and my running days, right? My knees were like up to here. So I had to use a lot of props. And it's great. And once we get the pelvis elevated above the knees, then we release the groin. And then we can actually strengthen and tone the glutes and the hips. So it allows us to actually find more flexibility and more strength, getting the pelvis above the knees. Okay, and now imagine that your two inner groins, they'll feel like steel cables, but those are releasing towards the inner knees. So you can use your imagination here, pretend like you're an artist painting with a paintbrush, and travel with your mind, with your imagination, with your body awareness. The inner groins are releasing, chasing towards the inner knees. They're spreading wide. However, you can tap into that awareness. And then from the inner knees are chasing towards the outer knee. And then the outer knee is chasing up towards the hip bones, the hip sockets. So go ahead and firmly press those feet together. Release the inner groins wide. Release the inner knee to the outer knee. Release the outer knee to the upper hip sockets. And then we're toning the hips into place. So again, there's both that opening of the pelvis, massive opening, and that toning and that strength happening in through the glutes, in through the hips. We want to focus on that equal pressure in your feet, right foot pressing, left foot pressing. And through that equal firm pressure of your feet coming together, you're going to find and activate the glutes and the hips. So front pelvis is opening. This is amazingly supportive to the reproductive organs. And then your inner knee is releasing to your outer knee. And then your outer knee is releasing to your upper hip socket. And those groins, those steel cables, they're rolling towards the floor and eventually softening. So once we start to tone and activate the glutes and the hips, then the groins can start to let go, release. And just bring your breath deep into your pelvis, into the reproductive organs. Feel that opening, that circulation, that blood flow. Releasing the tension. And then imagine that your center heel is aligning with your center pubic bone. And those hips are gonna have to activate to find that. And then the center pubic bone is aligning with the center belly button, with the center spine. And you'll have to find that firm pressure of your feet to find that alignment. And then your center belly button is aligning with your center sternum, your center heart. And the heart is lifting upwards and forwards. Front ribs are chasing backwards towards the wall behind you. And that's going to give us a whole bunch of length in the spine and the thoracic spine. And the throat is soft, the face is soft, the jaw is letting go. But those hips are active, those glutes are toning. And then that center heart aligns with the center throat. Supporting the thyroid, the parathyroid. And then the center throat aligns with the center forehead and the center chin. And see if you can get your eyes balanced, your right eye, your left eye. All of us have a dominant eye that's more strained. It's leaning forward, it's more active. Relax that active eye. And then all of that aligns with the center top of the head. So feet pressing, hips toning, glutes toning, center heel aligned with center pubic, aligned with center pelvis, aligned with center belly button, aligned with center heart, throat, chin, forehead, top of the head. And just grow a little bit taller, a little bit longer, make more space in the spine. There's more human potential, there's more space there. Lengthen the side waist, nice and long. And those feet are still firmly pressing together. And just breathe softly through the nose as you're finding more space, more awareness, more length, more strength, more softness. And then exhale, relax the body. You actually did a really big opening in the pelvis. So we're going to take our hands, soften the belly, taking our hands to the outside of the knees. And without using your legs at all, use your arms, your hands to bring your knees together. Yes, the legs remain soft, like jello. Good. And now we're just going to stay seated on our pillows or cushions. And we're going to spread the feet wide. And this is Malasana, another good hip one, another good ankle support. And this one you can actually get deep into the pelvis just through alignment. So you want to have your feet facing forward like they're on railroad tracks. So they're not in, they're not out, they're on tracks. And then you want to find the mounds of the big toes. So press through the mounds of the big toes, spread the toes wide. And you can work on an entire dissection of the hips, the knees, the pelvis, the ankles, just through the feet. So extend and reach through those toe tips. Broad and wide across the bottom of the feet. Press through the mounds of the big toes. Lengthen, extend through the top of the head, lengthen the whole spine. Every inch. Press through the inner heels. The inner heels are reaching through the floor. And again, you want to find that center, that balance. So we have equal pressure in our right foot and our left foot. And then we want to find that center balance in our pelvis and our hips. So equal weight in your right sit bone and your left sit bone. Imagine that the center pelvis is drawing towards the floor, like there's an anchor. And again, equal pressure in the feet so that we can balance the hips and the pelvis. And now that we have the center pelvis drawing down towards the floor, a line from the center heart, center sternum, reaching upwards and forwards. And you can, if you want, use your elbows on the front of your knees. Palms can be together. But there's actually an internal vacuum that you start to find as the pelvis moves into alignment, as the body moves into alignment. And so again, equal pressure on your feet. Engage from the base of the pelvis up to the top of the head. It's like a straw, engaging upwards, sipping upwards. Good. And again, equal pressure in those feet, equal pressure in the sit bones. And then we're lengthening, lifting, extending upwards through the spine. Face is neutral, chin is neutral, it's not looking up or down. Extend, lengthen the back of the neck. Reach out the top center of the head. And again, just through this awareness, you can work out so much. Work out micro or major imbalances. Again, just equal pressure at the feet, equal pressure in the sit bones, extending, lengthening out the top center of the head. And again, it's okay if there's aching, grueling in any of the muscles. And again, the feet are facing straight forward. And then exhale, slowly relax out. Hopefully you found some new space, some new awareness in the spine, some new circulation. So we're going to stay sitting in this for a moment. Just tune into your sit bones. Notice if one feels tucked, if one feels out. Try and reach through your inner sit bones through to the floor. Reach through the front sit bones through to the floor. And really just focus on the sit bones themselves, the right sit bone, the left sit bone. Lengthen those inner sit bones. Reach for those front sit bones. And just working with the sit bones, we can access so much more intelligence of the spine, so much more length in the spine. Reach through those front sit bones, reach through those inner sit bones, reach through the floor. And integrate the breath into that awareness. So a smooth, soft inhalation through your nose. A a smooth, soft exhalation through your nose as you continue to find that intelligence of your sit bones. Keep lengthening, keep growing, keep extending with that focus really on the front sit bone and the inside sit bones. Equal pressure in your feet, lengthening through the spine, softening the face and the throat. Good, and then exhale, soften, relax, release. And again, you just did a deep dissection on the pelvis. So pretend like you can't use your legs, you can't move them. We're just going to use our hands to straighten the legs, and you can come off your cushion, off your pillows, off your blankets. Good. Okay, we're going to work with this center alignment all the way through. Now starting with the legs. So if you can straighten the legs, do. Good. And we're going to bring the two big toes touching each other. Two big toes touching. Two big toenails aligned. Just that alone is going to start waking up the feet and new intelligence in the legs. Spread those toes wide. And you're probably going to have like one rebel toe that doesn't want to spread wide. See if you can build those neural pathways from your brain to your pinky toes, or whichever toe it is that's being mischievous. Good. So you're aligning through, imagine that just draw a line through the center of your big toenail on both sides. And lengthen and extend through there. Lengthen and extend. Lengthen and reach. Lengthen and grow. And then through every single toe tip, you can draw that center line through the toenail. Lengthen and extend. Work on that second toe, the one next to the big toes. Work on that third toe, again, center line through the center toenail. Extend. Okay, work on the fourth toe. Extend, lengthen. And now on the pinky toes. Center line through the center toenail. Extend, lengthen. Okay, now that we did each individual toe, try and integrate all of them together. Spreading the toes wide, bringing those big toes into alignment. Reach through the toe tips. And just notice if your spine is getting taller, longer. Now we're going to integrate all the way through the body. So where the two big toes are touching, align that with the center ankle bone. Align that with the center knees, where the two knees touch. Align that with the center pelvis, the pubic bone. Center pelvis, where it connects to the sacrum. Center belly button, lower spine. Center heart. Center sternum. And again, it's okay if there's percolating, shaking. It's a lot of work. Center throat. And there's so much that has to happen in the internal awareness to find that center line and connect it all the way through. Center throat, center forehead, center of the head, top of the head. And as you're working on all of that, don't lose the intelligence of the feet. So again, center toes, big toes touching. Press through the mounds of the big toes. And at this point, you might be getting like massive internal percolation. That's okay. But just see if you can bring it through your whole body. Your feet are active, your ankles are active, they're toning. Now go with your center kneecap on your right and your left, drawing straight down to the floor. Center kneecap. And then again, align that with your center ankle bones where your knees are touching. Center pelvis, center pubic. It's really, really micro movement and it's really hard. So I feel like once I find my center pelvis, then I lose my center knees, my center kneecap. So I go back to aligning the knees. And then I lose my pelvis, and then I go back to aligning my pelvis, and then I lose my knees. So it's a little bit of a dance, and you're just trying to hold as much of the awareness as possible. And then equal pressure in the two sit bones. I'm putting a lot of weight in my hands so that I can get that length in my spine. And the skin of the sacrum is chasing up towards the back of the head. So you're trying to get that 90-degree angle in the pelvis. You want the pelvis to be like an L versus a C. A C is rounded in the pelvis, an L is vertical. And again, those center kneecaps chasing towards the floor. And just work those two pieces, center kneecaps with center pelvis. Can you get the center of the knee aligned with the front of the knee with the back of the knee? Imagine that the knee is pressing through the floor. And once you have that, can you keep that? And then can you get your right sit bone and your left sit bone aligned? And again, the pelvis is in an L. Back of the sacrum skin is chasing up towards the back of the neck. And again, this internal alignment, you're going to find the strength of you're going to be toning your nervous system, strengthening your nervous system. You're going to find your core. You're going to find muscles that you don't normally use. Center knee. Front of the knee aligned with the back of the knee. Pressing through the floor. Center big toes. And now can you align those center big toes with the center pelvis? Right sit bone, left sit bone. And there's literally endless amounts of reintegration, of tapping into that inner intelligence, just working on those two sit bones. So roll onto the front edge of your sit bones, roll on the inside edges of your sit bones. Keep that intelligence, then align the knees. And the front of the thigh is reaching to the back of the thigh. The front femur bone is reaching through the floor. And once you feel like you're finding your knees, you're finding your pelvis, you're finding your sit bones, then peek back at your toes. How are your toes doing? Extend, release through all 10 toes, lengthen, align those two big toes. And then find that equal pressure in your sit bones, that connection to the earth, to the ground. And then integrate, bring it all the way through, reach to the top of the head. Center knee, center sit bones, top of the head. Good, and then exhale, soften, release. How was that as far as, was it tiring? Just notice internally. Did it feel like a lot more work than what it looked like? Were we making those connections, those mental pathways, those connections through the body? They are the subtle pathways of the body, that subtle awareness. And then grab your strap. Ooh, and move slow because you actually did a lot of realigning of the muscles, the tissues, the way the muscle adheres to the bone. That's really important for strength, the way the muscle adheres to the bone. It's literally completely re-educating the body, right? So grab your strap, and we're gonna come lying on the back. I think you can see well. And we're gonna put the strap on the edges of the feet, on the mound of the big toe, and then the arms are straight, and you can rock the strap around your wrist if you need better grip. And it's okay if the knees are bent. We're gonna actually start with the knees bent, but the arms are straight, and then you're gonna relax your shoulders all the way to the ground. Again, knees bent, micro bent. So we're just gonna work on the same alignment in this pose. Imagine a line through the center toenail of your big toes. Press through the mounds of the big toes. Try and extend all 10 toes wide. Now align the center ankles with the center knees, where the knees are touching, with the center of your pubic bone, your pelvis. And now with the center of your sacrum, so the back of the pelvis. And just see if you can find that alignment. Center pelvis, center sacrum, getting that balance equal on the right side of your pelvis and the left side of your pelvis, the right side of your sacrum, the left side of your sacrum. And you can slowly straighten those legs if they'll straighten. It's okay if they don't. And if the legs are straightening, then you can draw the center front of the knee to the center back of the knee. So we're aligning the feet, We're aligning the knees. We're aligning the pelvis. And we're still working with that internal vacuum. So the crests of the pelvis and the front pelvis, those pelvic bones, those are rolling towards each other, towards the center. Open the backs of the thighs. And just see if you can get the weight balanced on your pelvis. Keep spreading those toes wide. Great. And now work with the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. So the front femur bone is reaching to the back of the thigh. See if you can align those front knees again. Front thigh to the back of the thigh. Balance out that pelvis. And once you feel like your pelvis is balanced, then you can move up through your spine. Center spine. Center heart, center chin. And now full body integration. Mounds of big toes, inner heels, center knees, center pelvis, center belly button, center heart, center forehead, center top of the head. Full body integration. And again, it's okay if there's that inner percolation, that inner shaking. Everything's just realigning and toning. And really, even if you can't get those legs straight, that's no worries. But reach through the legs like the legs are growing longer. And again, muscle to the bone. Spread the sit bones wide. Sit bones wide, sit bones wide. Extend out the top of the head. Align the front of the knee with the back of the knee, the center knee. Heart opens. Spine is long. Navel to the spine. Good. And then exhale, we're going to release the left leg to the floor. Keeping that same awareness, that same intelligence. Press through the mounds of the big toes. And that left leg that's on the floor, you're imagining that there's a 50-pound weight on your center thigh, drawing that femur towards the floor. And that can even be your sole for focus. Center femur drawing towards the floor. And then any other alignment, awareness piece, you can bring it in. Grow that left leg that's on the floor longer. Reaching, scrubbing your heels towards the wall. And again, both femurs are drawing towards the back femur, back of the leg. Face is soft. Align that center brow. Soften the face, soften the throat, but keep lengthening and extending your legs longer. Front femur reaching to the back of the leg. More length in those legs, more length, more length. More strength. Adhere the muscle to the bone. Muscle to the bone, muscle to the bone. Front thigh to the back of the thigh. Front thigh to the back of the thigh. And that's going to work all the way up into the neck. Front thigh to the back of the thigh. And then exhale. Draw that left leg up to meet the right. Okay if the legs are bent or straight. It's okay if they're shaking or percolation. Draw the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. Align those toes, those toe tips, those toenails. And then draw the right leg down to the floor. Scrub your heels away from the head. Grow that right leg longer. Imagine that there's that 50-pound weight in your right femur. Draw the right femur straight down to the floor. Front of the thighs, reach towards the back of the thighs. The left leg that's in the air, engage the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. The right leg that's on the ground, engage the front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. Soften the face, soften the throat, open the heart, roll the shoulders down and back, chasing towards the glutes, glutes chasing towards the heels. And just keep aiming for that front of the thigh, reaching towards the back of the thigh. Lengthen that right leg longer, 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 longer. Your spine is growing longer, your glutes are toning. The feet are spreading wide. The navel's coming towards the spine. You're extending out the top of the head. And again, the muscle to the bone, the front of the thigh is reaching to the back of the thigh. Lengthen, extend. Smooth breathing. Work those legs a little bit stronger. Reach through the joints. Reach through the toe tips. Extend out the top of the head. Reach through the center heel. And exhale. Drop both legs down to the floor. Just letting your body integrate. Yes, beautiful. That was a lot of work. Let your body release, relax, let go, soften. Your muscles are still going to be integrating. Your nervous system is going to be integrating. Allow your body to soften into the floor. Allow the floor to support you, to hold you. Allow the face to soften, the eyes, the eyeballs to soften. Allow your tongue to release from the roof of your mouth, your jaw to soften. Imagine your side temples are opening like horse's eyes. And that floor, that ground is catching you. It's cradling you. Feel your weight on your heels. Feel your weight on the back of the knees. Feel the surface touching the back of the thighs, the glutes. Feel the surface of the floor touching your back, your shoulders, the back of your head, the back of your wrists, palms facing up. And just feel your body surrender, let go, release. You're 100% caught, 100% supported. Your body, your nervous system, let's go. Take a deep inhalation from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Roll out to your right side. Press downward to come upward. Moving slow, moving steady. Come seated on the floor for a moment. And just feel or sense if there's any shift in your brain, in your nervous system, in your body, in your awareness and the intelligence of your body. Sense that center line. Reaching through the sit bones, extending long through the spine, through the top of the head. Organs are soft. Heart is lifting. Spine is lengthening. And bring those palms together, representing the right brain, the left brain, connecting. Relax the chin towards the heart. Extend and lengthen through those fingertips. Relax the elbows downwards. Relax the jaw. Feel any inner softness, inner stillness, inner strength. And thank you for practicing today, for going inward, like that involution, a very deep inward journey. Yay! Feel free to just share any takeaways, anything that was, anything, any challenges, any takeaways.
Well, as I haven't done this in a long time, everything was a challenge.
It was. I know. That was indeed.
Yes, but it was good. I'm glad. I did have a question for you.
Mhm.
When I was using the strap on the feet,
Yeah.
I noticed that the outside bones for like the pinky toe seemed like that they were kind of crushed a little bit, like
Mhm.
they were being squished. Is there a way to, I mean, is that supposed to be that way? Is there a way to like unsquish them?
Yeah, so that's gonna come naturally over time, but it's gonna have to build from the inside out. So it's like
Okay.
learning to spread all the toes wide. And then that will build that form and that strength. And right now they're just kind of
Yeah, yeah.
toes.
That's what it
Yeah.
feels like. Okay.
So it's like an internal resistance training. So like you can even feel it with my hand, like if you're squeezing your own hand, resistance, 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 moving, expanding beyond it,
Right.
building
Okay.
the strength of the feet.
Awesome.
Yeah, good question.
Thank you.
Yeah. And were you able to connect more with your spine and your pelvis?
Yes.
Awesome. Great.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. My hamstrings are really tight, so I can't sit at an L, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I know.
I'm not there yet, but
That doesn't matter. That's okay. You're still getting the work. You're still getting the work.
I know it'll change over time. It's just it takes a while.
It's gradual.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much for sharing your Friday with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it too. Felt good, and I hope that you can take any piece of that throughout your day.
That's the plan. Absolutely. Thank you very much. You have a great weekend.
You too. See you next week, hopefully.
Yes, that's the plan.
Yay. Bye.
Bye.